Thank goodness you're organized today.
I'll tell you, it's the fear of my big sister.
Damn right, good.
I wake up on podcast morning and I think, oh, she's going to ask me, what are we talking about today?
Yeah.
So I get
That's right. Well, good. So I strike a little fear into your heart, do I? Oh, yeah, right. That's BS. I go,
don't make me swear.
Cynthia, I need this. And she goes like,
I go, oh,
in one and out the other.
Whatever you say, Barb.
Yeah, right. I said, have you got my email? Yeah, I put it on snooze with the other 452 emails
that you sent to me.
So don't tell me that. I don't buy that.
You're supposed to go on vacation and shut off your email. You're supposed to put the autoresponder on that says, I am away from my work for 12 glorious days while I travel around in the,
in the California and Nevada desert.
Mm-hmm,
yeah,
mm-hmm.
I did that.
Mm-hmm.
I did that. In many places I had no internet signal. It was really hard, Cynthia. I had 4 days where there was like no proper internet signal.
No, yeah.
I almost died.
You couldn't Google anything.
No, it was terrible.
Man. And we survived.
You don't realize how connected you are to things until you're either away from internet signal or you have a power outage. In the store. Like
let's circle back to that. Because I think that's really relevant and important to talk about today. So let's start off by telling everybody who we are and what episode we're doing.
Hi, everybody. I'm Barb, and this is
my sister Cynthia.
My sister Cynthia. And we're the owners of River City Yarns in Edmonton, Alberta. Mm-hmm. And this is episode
33.
33.
Yes.
Where we talk
the same number forwards and backwards.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's kind of cool.
It is. Yeah, because I'm of an age where I like to say my age backwards.
Gotcha.
So that's on my mind. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And this is our October episode.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about like a lot of things, really, but
fall stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And about what we've been doing.
Yeah. And where we're going.
Give us a whole thing about the models and the photo shoot that you had, because I missed that. I was on holidays a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. It was so quiet here in the store.
And Cynthia did a ton of things while I was gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some she doesn't even know about yet.
You're such a bad girl.
Yes.
Well, I'm happy because we got a new computer system while I was away. Mm-hmm. You did the whole photo shoot and got patterns out of the way. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
We did a reno in our warehouse and added new light fixtures.
Oh, that's right. We had so many adventures, right? So that's part of what's happening.
I gotta go away more often.
No, what's happening in the background, right? In your local yarn shop. So yeah, that is good. So it's hard to get a vacation. It really is. It's hard to go away and leave your responsibilities behind, because
I had no problem though.
No. I'm pretty sure that you were answering quite a bit of emails. You might have even been ordering yarn while you were gone. I think that's a possibility. We'd have to ask your husband just how much time you were present in the tour and how much time you were
in the tour. I was present all the time. This time,
yeah.
At night when we got back to the hotel was really the only time. And then in some of the hotels, we actually had to go down to the lobby to get signal.
Right.
So
interesting.
Yeah.
We take Wi-Fi for granted.
We do.
Totally for granted.
Yeah.
So on that note, on Friday, you came into the shop.
Do you want me to tell you about it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I came into the shop and everyone was in a little bit of a panic and it was kind of dark. I said, what's going on? Oh, the power's off. And so when the power went off, that meant the computers don't work. Mm-hmm. We don't have an internet signal. Mm-hmm. The lights were all out. Everybody was using the flashlight on their phone, which a few of us didn't know we had.
There are a few things on your phone you probably don't know you have, right?
Yeah. We had no music. Everything. We were worried about the refrigerator.
Oh.
Because we didn't know if the power went off in the middle of the night or if it just went off that morning.
Right. And then to use the washroom was an adventure because there's no outdoor lighting in the washroom.
Right.
So you'd be completely in the dark.
Right. Mike went and got us glow sticks, and so we hung a few of those in the bathroom.
Right.
And the bad part was we had customers coming for tutorials then. And so Jane Ann and the girls got on the phone right away and tried to, catch people and let them know. Yeah. But it didn't help because some people were en route.
Right.
So we had customers showing up at the door. Andrew was amazing. He got our iPad working with a hotspot on his phone.
Right. So here's the balance of technology and power, right? So we have a point of sale system that we primarily use on PCs, but of course the PCs need a constant source of electricity. So we then revert to our iPads, which we can run our point of sale system on our iPads if you can get a Wi-Fi signal long enough to log into the system, because it requires a Wi-Fi signal in order to validate the cashier in the system. And so Andrew used his phone as a hotspot to create a Wi-Fi source.
And I mean, at the end of the day, we had customers who wanted to buy things, and we just took their credit card number. Well, and that worked out fine. We rang it in later.
Right. Because we do have a cellular merchant services pin pad, but it wasn't charged.
No.
So, if you're, so we will be reviewing our emergency preparedness plan.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, to make sure we've got things.
Add this one too, the backup battery. It wasn't working either.
The backup battery works for 15 minutes.
Oh.
The idea of that one is that if you have a sudden power outage, you have 15 minutes with which to shut down all the programs on your computer so that you're not just, ending things.
Right.
So,
well, the good news is they said it was going to come back on at 4 p.m., but it actually came back the power at noon.
Right. Right.
So I'm thankful we didn't send everybody home.
Well, I thought it was ironic as well. Or you mean staff? We didn't send all the staff home. Yeah. I thought it was ironic too because Friday was the day that everyone was out protesting on climate change. And so, my first thought was, there's a larger power at work here that's saying, appreciate this because, it's, we really do need to think about how we can use less. Right?
Yes.
We need to think about it. What we're doing that might be wasteful.
We've already taken a stand on plastic bags. That was a big move for us. Yeah. And it was hard for people here, and I think still is. There are still a few of our folks who want a plastic bag. Yeah,
they don't want the yarn. They didn't bring one. They don't want their yarn to get dirty in their vehicle.
And we understand
whatever.
That.
Yeah. But so actually, Mike and I were talking about that this morning because we were listening to a news program about recycling and whether or not plastics are actually being recycled.
Well, there's that question, isn't there?
And so we were talking over breakfast this morning about, what can we do as individuals? And we came to the conclusion that, probably the best thing that we can do, the thing that we have the most control over is plastic bags. When you go to the grocery store, I like yogurt. I want to have yogurt, but it comes in a plastic container. And there's really not a whole lot I can do about that except make my own yogurt, which, maybe I should do. But what I can do, and it's easy for me to do, is take a bag into the grocery store so that in addition to that plastic tub of yogurt, I'm not also taking 2 or 3 plastic bags home with me.
You don't do that already?
I do, but I forget because the plastic bags are there and they're available, and you think you're halfway through your shopping. Oh, right, I forgot to bring it in. Right. So if there weren't any plastic bags in the grocery store, I would be forced to remember. Yeah. And I think that's what our customers are doing too. They're getting into the habit now of bringing something in with them.
We're using a positive reinforcement model, right? Yeah. Every time someone brings in their own bag or brings in one of our bags, the little recycled totes we have, we give them an entry into a draw.
Right.
And that works really well. Everyone loves that.
It does. And, so I think in the grocery store, if they gave us a little treat every time we brought in a bag, that would help too.
We remember that too.
But even if they took a stand and said no more plastic bags, that would help enormously. But as an individual, it's certainly something I have a choice about, right? I can I can easily go back out to my car and grab a bag and bring it in and take my groceries. So from now on, no more plastic bags.
Yeah, we just went and put bags in the trunk of every one of our vehicles.
Yeah. And then there's, cutting down on the number of vehicles.
Oh. That's true, but you can only drive one at a time.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, so Friday was quite the adventure. It was quite interesting.
Yeah. Well, you think even in terms of winding up balls of yarn, we have a manual ball winder. Of course, everybody's got their fingers in their hands, but we have a manual ball winder, and then we have an electric ball winder.
Right.
So,
our manual ball winder, though, was in such darkness. We had to bring everything downstairs.
Right. To take it outside and use it.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, so...
This building's pretty dark, too. It's got front windows and back windows, but other than that, it was pretty dark.
Yeah, it's hard to see the yarn. So that's where the online store comes in handy. Hey, you could pull up your online store on the iPad and say, here's all the colors of Rowan, Valley Tweeds.
Well, and the funny thing was, it was just our side of the street. We could look across the street and see all the cars going through the Tim Hortons drive-through. Their power worked just fine. Yeah. Anyways.
Okay.
That was the excitement for Friday.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and I guess, the good thing is that, it might stop you from reading a book, but it wouldn't stop you from knitting.
No, true. We all
knit in the dark, right?
We all went and got our knitting. Yeah.
All right. So what did you finish?
Oh, I did
since last month.
Things. What did I do? I finished my zigzag. I'll show that to you.
So this is done out of...
This is pure holiday knitting.
Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and it's one of those ones that you could do while you were on a bus or listening to a tour guide or something like that. So, I got it done. And I love it. It's not very big. It's just short, but
it's
nice and
cozy on your shoulders. Yeah. I mean, you have a shrug on right now, but you could wear this as a shrug.
You could. Yeah.
And you've got a brick bubble button on it.
I know. I just love those.
Yeah. It's really nice.
So
the colors are beautiful, Barb.
Thanks. Chalcedony. I don't think we have any more of this one.
Well, I don't think it matters in the sense that if you're using 2 variegated yarns in this pattern, right? And
2 rows with each, and sometimes 4 rows.
Oh, because you were being Barb.
Well, because I just wanted to alternate the pattern a little bit on the ends.
Yeah,
and I did it here.
Yeah, I think that's really nice.
This is such a great thing, though. It reminds me of that book that we were looking at, Sequence Knitting, where you take a knit pattern and you just kind of memorize it. This was 12 stitches.
Yes.
And then you just keep doing that on the row. And is that ever fun?
Yes.
I love knitting like that.
Oh, good.
To try more of it.
I haven't actually cracked the book open yet, but I will. It's a very heavy book.
It is. Yeah. It makes a great doorstop.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Anyways, this yarn is a dream to knit with.
Did you
do everything in Adam and Eve if I could?
Yeah. Did you block it?
Nope.
No.
This is right off the needles.
Right off the needles. Wow. That sort of speaks to garter stitch, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. And I think merino too, to some extent, right?
Yeah.
It's just such a nice round yarn. It doesn't have too many.
This particular one, anyway. Let me just fix your bangs there. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. How about you? What were you working on?
Tell us about the one on the mannequin here.
Okay. Yeah. Well, this is my
beat me.
4-day.
Your
it's not
40-day.
Yeah. It's not like you had anything else to do, right? This is the 4-day knit along from Marie Green. And yes, it took me way more than 4 days, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
But that's because, I had a lot of other things on my plate.
That's right, yeah. And this is done in...
It was probably pretty accurate. I think I probably took a little bit more time because I made it a little bit longer.
Well, you were allowed to take more time based on size, right? And I think you and I both made a bigger size than obviously than the smallest size.
An extra length, extra repeat too for length.
Yeah. So did you find that it grew when you blocked it?
Not, well, a little bit, yeah. I kind of forced it to grow,
Yeah.
Merino's like that.
Yeah.
You get it off the needles and you think, that's pretty short. And then you put it in water and it just kind of like stretches right out.
Right. Yeah. It gets very floopy. It's the only word I can think of for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you just lay it flat to dry then?
I did. Okay. Yeah. Put the fan on over top of my bed and just kind of let it
air dry. Nice. Okay. Well, here's mine.
Yeah.
It's
your 4-day cal?
My 4-day cal.
Okay.
It's still in the bag.
Here, I'll move your coffee cup.
So it's a whip. And
wow.
So I've got the body
you're on
done.
The sleeves.
Yes, I'm on the sleeves. So I thought
maybe
I would take this with me on my little vacation.
Right.
And see if I can finish it up. So I'm doing two sleeves at the same time.
Yes. You're almost done.
I'm getting there.
I got to this point too and I got tired. And so I did each sleeve separately.
Yes.
It's just that, my pattern changed, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at that point I didn't care. I was just wanting to get it done.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm
that's so pretty.
I've got to swim off Sleeve Island and get back to
and this is forest. This is Eden yarn that we used for our sweaters. And this colorway is called Forest. I love it.
Yeah. I think it'll go nicely with the purple in my hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you just get that done? Did you go see Sarah?
Maybe I went to see Sarah on Friday.
Oh, nice.
Maybe she put a little purple and blue in my hair.
I thought so. Very nice.
Yeah.
Isn't this yarn a
the
dream
yarn
to
is
knit with?
gorgeous, and the pattern is nice too. It's nice to do a top-down sweater design every now and then, and have something that's open in the front, so you can throw it on.
Although I have to say, I'm a real big fan of pieces.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of merit towards knitting.
I like this sweater, but I don't feel like there's enough structure in it for me in the sleeves.
Oh.
These want to keep falling down off my shoulder.
Oh, okay. So you definitely need some sort of fastening at the front.
I need something in here,
yeah. And the raglan isn't always, the best for all body shapes either.
Yeah. But it was fun to knit. It really was fun to knit.
Yeah. And so, So that's your finished objects? Got any more that you want to show us?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Nothing finished.
I didn't bring anything finished with me except the Marta vest, which I'm wearing. Yeah.
That's so nice.
This is, I didn't actually finish this. This was knit for me. And it's lovely. It's at a Brooklyn Tweed shelter.
Right.
Or Loft. One of those two. Loft. Thinner one, yeah. So I'm feeling cozy today because it's cold outside. We're at 0 this morning. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's a really pretty pattern, too. It reminds me a little bit of that one that Andrea Mowry did. It's called, it's like a honeycomb or a bee.
Oh, yeah. I think I know which one you mean.
It's really pretty.
Yeah. This one's by Julie Hoover.
Right.
We met Julie at TNNA earlier this fall. And so it was kind of nice, to put it on and say, oh, it's my new friend Julie. Yeah. Well, she probably doesn't know who the heck I am, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't bring any finished objects with me because I've only got whips. But I did make a scarf for my granddaughter. Oh. Because she's back to school and it's cold now. So I was organizing my yarn, and I'm sure you probably have more yarn than I do, but I have a lot of yarn. So anyway, I took all the single balls of yarn that I had that were red and pink, and I put them in a bag, and then I made her a scarf by holding up to 7 strands of yarn.
Wow.
Because I have a lot of lace and fingering weight, and I used my 15mm needles. Yep. And I knit her a scarf in one night.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. And
what
I
did
put
she
fringe
think?
on it. She loves it.
Yeah.
Yeah. She said it's very thick. And, kind of like with that look on her face, like, I don't know about this. It's very thick. Yeah. But I said, you just make one end short and throw the other end around your neck and you're good to go. And she agreed that was good. So
kids, they can be pretty picky too.
They can. Yeah. This had some luxury yarns in it. I think there was some silk and some Angora and,
So you got one project finished.
I did.
That must have felt good.
It did. It did. Yeah. Yeah. I love those 15mm needles.
Yeah,
right?
Those are fun. Yeah. And that big crochet hook, have you seen that? It's 40 mil.
Yeah, Yes, I have seen it, but I haven't used it. I do have one I have a 15 millimeter crochet hook, and I think I have a 25 millimeter.
I think you bought
hook.
one on a chippy rod.
Yeah.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's just a fun way to get things going, right?
So you mentioned you've got some works in progress.
Lots of works in progress.
Yeah, show us what you're working on. Can you show us? Because a lot of your knitting's secret.
I'll show you this one first, because it's not secret. It's sort of secret, but not secret. So
I love that color.
I thought you might. So these were socks I was going to knit for you for your birthday, which was like 2 months ago. And so I got this far. These are toe-up socks.
Oh, look at how cute those are.
No, I might.
What yarn is that?
Maybe they're too long for your foot now that I look at them.
That looks
it's a FLASHMOB from last year.
Yeah. So pretty.
Anyway, yeah. So like that's in my bag.
So that's in your bag.
And you know that Cal that we were doing, the Sylvia, Crazy Sylvie one,
with Kobasi,
and the flexi flips. I got this far.
Okay,
I actually wound up a ball.
That's the first step, isn't it? It's like
I wound this by hand, by the way.
Oh yes,
so
that's beautiful.
Perfect little ball. How far did
I'll
you
show
get?
you mine.
Okay.
I have a ball too.
Okay.
And another ball.
Okay.
And I have needles stuck in mine. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And I have this much done.
Good for you.
Twice.
Oh, good.
I have this one
Why
too.
did you take that one off the needles?
Because I was making mistakes and I couldn't remember where I was.
So you're going to start over?
Yeah, I think this was the bus project that,
Yes.
didn't work out.
Yes. Sometimes you need, like this has a lace pattern in it, so it's probably best to be an audiobook knit, right?
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah. Listen
something
to a book
where you don't have to look at the television.
I need to listen to knit 2, yarn over, knit 3 together. That's what should be my audiobook.
Right. So who is telling us that if you're working through a chart and you don't want to read each line, or if you don't have a chart and you just have the written instructions, anyway, just to take out your phone and record yourself reading the pattern to you. Mm-hmm. And then you can just hit play and pause and play and pause and play and pause. And then you don't have to look at the chart. You can just listen to yourself tell you what to do next.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty brilliant.
That is a good idea.
Yeah.
You need headphones though, because I can't stand listening to myself.
Oh, really?
Especially over and over and over again.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm only coughing once an hour instead of every 10 minutes.
Yeah. But you're almost better.
I am. Yeah. I think the humidifier in the house is helping.
Oh.
The vaporizer. Yeah. Put it on
plus
every
copious amounts of drugs, right?
I had a little bit of cough syrup. And the cough syrup did have a little bit of codeine in it. And I do admit to feeling very mellow for the 5 days that I was taking it. But that's a long time ago now. So, yeah.
Well, thank goodness. I'm glad you're back.
Thank you.
And I'm really glad I didn't catch it. No, it wasn't contagious. I know.
Well, no, I'm sure it is contagious. When you have a chest infection, because the doctor wouldn't give me antibiotics. So
really?
It's a virus.
Because you were like coughing all over me.
I know, right? So the echinacea or whatever you're taking must be working.
Cold FX.
Okay.
Yeah, every single day.
So I have another whip.
Another whip.
But it's really related to what we're going to talk about next, which is all the new stuff that we're doing. So last month I think actually it was the month before, we launched Lucy Neatby's MVP hat.
Right.
And so I've been working on that a little bit.
So tell us just briefly,
if you can.
Because there's a lot involved with producing patterns, right?
Yeah.
So what were you up to while I was away?
Okay, so in addition to this pattern, and so we go through a design process probably twice a year where we put out a call to designers and we ask them if they'll, contribute to a collection that we wanted to do. And this year, we didn't actually do a call. We just put in a call to a few people and Lucy
They said
Neebe.
yes.
Yeah, Lucy Neebe was here. Kate Atherley came to Edmonton on another trip, and we went out for dinner, and we handed her a ball of yarn, and we said, "What do you think of this?" And she said, "Ooh." And so, we asked her to design something in it. And then we talked to Fiona and to Holly, and they actually did contribute submissions into a call. And so we had about, I think, 6 new designs.
Well, it was hard to pick them. We kept going through the list and seeing their drawings, because they do these amazing drawings. And we're going, oh my God, I love that. And I love this. And I love, sleeve on that.
Right.
So it was really difficult to choose, but we did it. And we came up with a whole list of projects we wanted made. Yeah. Some in hat trick, some in epic.
Some in touchdown, not hat trick. So we so like these ones and the gridiron hat, for example, they're all done in touchdown because we wanted to get some designs for that line. So we have 5 or 6 in-house yarns, and so
it keeps growing because now we've got Kate working on a design with Chunkadelic.
Right. So the lines aren't growing, but we need to have designs for those lines, right? Because when people come in, they say, "Well, what would you do with this yarn?" We want to be able to show them some inspiration.
Yeah.
So we contract with a designer to create something for us. We sign a contract, and we tell them how much we'll pay for it, and then the designer submits the design. They often will knit up a sample or a swatch or something to go along with it. And if they don't have time to do the sample, or if it's a huge sample, we may contract a sample knitter to knit it for us. Anyway, there's the design, there's the editing of the design, there's the samples.
That's time consuming.
Yes, incredibly time consuming.
I can't believe how many reiterations you guys did on the last one.
Right.
It went back and forth and back and forth.
Right. So when the tech editing part in particular, we hire a professional tech editor, Kate, thank you. We also have Fiona Ellis reviewing the patterns, and then the designer is also reviewing the patterns after the tech editing. So
there's all those stages where you can find corrections.
Yes.
And you need that.
Yes. And then we got to name the project, and there's a bit of we have to have some consensus around that too. And then we go out for photography, and we do the graphic layout. So we have this brilliant person who does all of the graphic layout, and that gets sent back to the designer and the tech editor, and they'll say, "Oh, we missed this comma here, and we need a space there." Fiona is amazing at finding all the little, we're missing a line, or you need to put a line here, not here. The space needs to go here. This needs to be bolded. It's incredible. And then the designer will say, "Oh, I prefer that this word is hyphenated rather than one word." And I mean,
little tiny things like that.
But they're all important. I mean, how often do you pick up a pattern and you notice those inconsistencies because you're reading it, like you're really reading it as the knitter, right? And then there's all the chart. Like getting the charts right and the bounding lines. I mean, there's just so much work that goes into the graphic layout of the pattern.
So next time you see a pattern and you think, "Oh, am I going to spend $8 for a pattern?" Do it, because there's so much that goes into it, especially a pattern that's written well.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So for the photo shoot, we had to pick a location. We had to find models. We had to line everybody up, and we wanted to get this photo shoot, we had to do in a hurry because we wanted to get 2 of the garments ready to go to Knit City. And when this podcast comes out, Knit City will be full on because Holly Yeo wanted to launch 2 of the designs at Knit City. So Holly Yeo created a beautiful Argyle vest, an Argyle style vest out of Epic. And then she created this beautiful, luxurious, sumptuous shawl out of Eden. And so we wanted to get those photographed, and we wanted to get them photographed on different body types. And so I had my daughter, Jen, and my other daughter, Sarah, and their 2 friends, Christina and Larissa. We all got together at the university campus because the University of Alberta has a beautiful campus.
And it was fall, probably the leaves were falling. And
the leaves were turning, and the Argyle, I think the Argyle vest was part of the whole inspiration behind choosing that location because it seemed very academic. So we went out there and we did this shoot on there, and we brought all the garments. We brought all the new stuff.
Where'd you go on the campus?
We went into the middle of the campus and just on the side of the quad. So there's this big grassy area in the middle called the quad. There are two buildings. One is called Pembina, and the other one's called Athabasca. And Athabasca, they used to be residences on campus, and they're now administrative offices. But they're big brick buildings. Yeah. And Pembina had a whole kind of wall of ivy growing on it.
Oh, nice. Did you get some photos there?
Yeah. And it's so unusual to see ivy in Edmonton, right? We're too far north for that. It's not humid enough, right? Yeah. So anyway, it was just a beautiful location, beautiful day. We were hoping it wouldn't rain because it had been raining that week. Yeah. And we just had this great window of opportunity.
Oh, good for you.
So we photographed the vests, and we re-photographed some of our older designs as well to get them on, to get some different bodies in them.
To them. Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun, and the girls were really good. Sarah did everybody's hair before they came,
and makeup. I heard
they did their own. So we had some. Actually, this is kind of interesting. We had a side conversation about makeup because two of the women on the photo shoot are Asian. And so their skin tones, of course, are different. So Sarah's pale like me. She doesn't have makeup for anyone whose skin tone is darker. So each of them did their own bases. Yeah. And then Sarah touched them up and then did hair.
Nice.
So we didn't want to do it wasn't like a fashion model shoot. We wanted this
very
to
natural
portray, who these women are, and the way that they're all different heights, they're all different body shapes. And so we took the same vest and we put it on each of the different models.
I love that idea. Because oftentimes you'll see a pattern where you have 5 different sizes of the same vest on 5 different people. But this one was one vest.
Ideally, that would probably be better, right? Yeah. To have a different size and maybe different colors. But as I said, this was like fresh off the needles.
But this is really true to the knitting store because people will often knit things against the rules of the pattern. The pattern might say this should be worn with 6 inches of ease, but someone will say to us, I don't want 6 inches of ease. I want it skin tight.
Right.
So, it's kind of like a true truth when you take the same garment and you put it and show it on different body shapes.
Well, it definitely shows the versatility, I think, of a vest. Because a vest doesn't have sleeves, and sometimes the armhole depth is a real killer in a sweater pattern. Because if you do try to put in, a plus size person into a large vest, then you might find that the sleeves are tight and it pulls in the wrong place. Yeah. So again, in terms of our considerations of what designs we want to bring forward in our yarns, we chose 2 vests this season because we think vests are really versatile. You can put this on and then put your jacket on, and you don't have to take the sweater off. Right. You keep your core warm. You're still able to zip things up, and away you go. And then when you get to where you're going, you take it off.
We're seeing lots of vests, too, from our designers, the folks that we buy yarns from, and open vests, too.
Right, like a cardigan vest.
Yeah, or like a sort of a trench-style jacket coat.
Right. Yes, and we got one to show, too. Yeah. So that was kind of cool, and the only thing we were missing in that photo shoot was a guy. So because we want to show that this particular pattern is also unisex. Right. And again, I think that's the beauty of a vest. It's not necessarily particularly feminine. It can be very unisex. And
especially Argyle. I mean, you think about the oldest one I can think about is Mr. Rogers. And he always wore a vest.
Did he?
Yeah, on the TV show.
I thought it was a sweater.
Well, that too.
Okay.
I think.
But a vest underneath.
And I think it's just very, it can be very male, the whole Argyle socks, Argyle ties.
Right. Yeah. So then we had to decide on a name for these projects. And so the vest that Holly designed for us, we ended up calling the Rutherford vest. Alexander Rutherford was one of the original teachers and you could probably say a big influence on the University of Alberta campus. He was also an activist for women's rights at the time. And so we thought it was really fitting to put Rutherford on the name of the vest. So that's where that one came from. The shawl, like today as we're filming, we haven't actually named the shawl yet.
We're still working on that.
We're calling it the mosaic shawl in our heads because it's got a huge mosaic pattern in it. But we'll have a name by the time this one comes out and for Holly.
Do you want to just chat a little bit about the vest and the way it's made?
Yeah, okay. So this is an argyle vest, and so in the pattern, Holly describes that you can knit it in, you can knit the colors in the vest in one of two ways or both ways, and that's intarsia or duplicate stitch. So intarsia is the method where you'll knit in one color, and when you change colors, you drop that yarn, pick up a new piece of yarn and knit in that color, and then you drop that yarn and you pick up another new piece of yarn, even if it's the same color on both sides, right? So each time you change colors, you need to have a little bobbin or length of yarn, and so you're changing colors as you go. She explains in the pattern that when you do that, it can change your gauge. So you may want to use a different size needle for the front of the vest where you have all this color work and the back of the vest where you don't have the color work. Or if if you want to, you can just duplicate stitch all the diamonds and all the cross hatches on it. It's not like hugely argyle. It's more of a pattern feature than a dominant argyle. And so you could just duplicate stitch it on top.
That's nice. So there's two options.
Yeah, and then you could intarsia the diamonds and then duplicate stitch the cross hatches, or vice versa. So Holly gives, it's almost a full page of tips about how to do that, which I think is really nice. You know?
I think Holly's brilliant. You look at her patterns and there's just so much information there. It's hard to go wrong. As a knitter, you want something where you're going to be quite sure that it's going to come out right?
It's nice to have all that information included in the pattern, even though it takes up an extra page, because you don't have to follow a link somewhere.
Right.
That said, there's a couple of places where we do give those things. Like if you're not sure how to do this, here's a link to a video.
Right. That's even better too.
Yeah.
You've got even more support.
Holly did something else that I think is really incredible.
What's that?
So each of the cross-hatch lines that you'll either knit or do in duplicate stitch require a length of yarn. And so she's gone to the trouble of telling you how much yarn you will need for each of the cross-hatch lines. And then when it came to pattern design, we thought, where are we going to fit this page? It's an extra page. You can't fit it into the pattern. We're going to add it in as an addendum. So our wonderful graphics guy, he created this beautiful chart that has all the links for all the cross hatches.
Wow.
And we'll be offering that as an extra download on Ravelry or as an add-on, like an extra page in the printed pattern if you buy it here at the store. So,
wow.
I mean, Holly's like that. She just wants you to know.
Can we offer it just electronic so people don't have to print another page? Just save some paper?
Yeah, for sure. Well, when you download it on Ravelry, you can download it to your computer. You don't have to carry it around with you. But it is just one page. So if you did want to print it, it would make your pre-measurements of yarn so much easier. So that's
a great
Holly. She's
tip.
very thoughtful about the math around all those requirements. Yeah.
So those are the two patterns that we did the photo shoot on, and they're going to be available on Ravelry.
Yeah,
really soon.
Those are the two. Those are Holly's patterns that we did the photo shoot, and then also we did the photos of Fiona's new design.
Okay,
so let me show you that one.
Oh, you've got it here.
I do.
The other ones we've actually sent to Vancouver, haven't we?
Right, right. But we're going to insert lots of pictures from the photo shoot here. So
I'll hold that while you talk about it.
This is Fiona's vest. We're tentatively calling this one Geneva, and there's a good story behind that, so we'll tell you about that a little bit later. This one is done with a cable motif at the bottom of the vest, and the really cool thing about this for me is that the vest is done in reverse stockinette stitch, so those cables really pop at the bottom.
I love that.
And it's no different than working your vest in stockinette stitch, except you've got the what we usually consider to be the private side showing. Yeah, so you can't even see the cables on this side.
Right.
Right? Because in order to have cables pop, you have to surround them with a field of reverse stockinette. So Fiona just made the entire vest in reverse stockinette, and so those cables really pop. It's a gorgeous detail.
Oh, I love it. I love the length of this vest too. It's a little longer than most, and it almost has a bit of an A-line to it.
Yeah, and she's put slits in the side. So that you can have kind of like a tunic style wearing of it. So again, we put this on all 4 of our models and photographed them in it. And we photographed everybody both standing and sitting in the vest. Because when you sit down, you're going to get that little wrinkle in the middle of it. So
where are we going to store all those pictures? Where can we put them so that everybody can see them on Ravelry?
Yeah, we'll put quite a few on Ravelry, but we'll also use them on social media. Yeah. And so they'll be there, yeah. And then in addition to the hat, she did mittens.
Oh, look at those.
And these are really cool too. So they have the same cable motif on the back side of the mitten. And then there's a rib stitch on the inside. And instead of having a pointy top or a round top, we've got almost like a flat top finish on these. Yeah. It's very cool.
And what did she tell you why she did the ribbing on the palms?
I think she didn't tell me exactly, but I suspect it's to match the bottom of the cables here because it's the same pattern stitch.
I wonder though,
all the way around.
If they shouldn't be worn like this, with the cable coming on the side and this on the back of the hand.
No, that's wrong. So, and then she did a hat.
I'm wearing mine like this.
Everybody, you have to comment. She's wearing them wrong. Okay.
No, this is perfect because the cable kind of comes right here on the palm of your hand, and when you go stop
or high five, cable bump, whatever you want, Then this is the hat. So it's got a cable motif on the side, but one cable's larger than the other. And then it's a slouchy hat, and you've got, again, the same kind of ribbing detail. It matches the sweater perfectly.
Nice.
Yeah. So these are all done in Epic.
You probably line this one over your left eye and this one over your right eye.
Only if I'm going to give you the eyebrow.
I had to. I couldn't resist. That's really pretty.
It's really nice. So it makes a complete outfit. You've got the vest, the hat, the mittens. It's really good. And so, like Fiona's previous project,
and this one goes with your hair too.
Well, of course, everything goes with my hair. I just have my hairstylist dye my hair to match whatever I'm wearing. Right?
Are you going gray soon?
Actually, that's very popular. It's the Daenerys Targaryen look. So yeah, maybe silver.
This is pretty. I love it.
Yes.
It's very pretty.
The last sweater project that Fiona did for us was Rosalind. Yeah. And then we decided Rosalind needed a cowl, and then she needed a hat and mittens. So it's a complete outfit. So Geneva has hat, mitts, and vest to go in the wardrobe.
This could be a cowl too, right? If you didn't do the top of the hat. Absolutely. You could now turn it into a cowl.
Absolutely. The gathering at the top of the hat is very quick. So if you just left off the gathering, you'd have and maybe put this rib stitch at the other side.
I just love Fiona's cables too. I'm sure she charted this one out. She's just got the most beautiful handwriting, and I've seen her. She's looking at it.
She's the cable queen.
This is beautiful.
Yeah. And then remember that skein?
I want to make this.
Yeah. Well, and what color? Because I think for you and me, gray is not, I'm wearing gray today, but obviously I got something darker underneath it. I think it would be a really nice opportunity to use that navy blue that we have in Epic.
Oh, yeah. That would be pretty.
Yeah. It's a little dark for the cables, but I think it would still pop, especially because of that reverse stockinette background.
I think it would even look beautiful in natural, like a cream color.
Agreed.
Yeah.
We have a medium charcoal too that would be really nice because it's just a little deeper gray. It would look really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that.
So this is coming as well. This is on its way.
Yeah. So when this podcast airs, we won't have Geneva out on Ravelry yet or on our website. We'll be focusing on Holly's designs because they're going to go out at Knit City. So those, you can find links in the show notes below. But this one, you might have to wait a couple of weeks.
Soon, it's coming soon.
And then we also
before winter.
Yes. And then I have another little sneak preview for you.
Maybe she could just send us the pattern and we could start knitting. Like
yes,
samples.
We have the pattern right now. We're doing the tech editing on it as we speak, and the photography's all been done, so it won't take long before it's out. But yeah, if you wanna test it, sure thing.
I got a hat thing going on lately.
Okay, so remember that beautiful skein of Eden that we gave Kate Atherley when she was here? She took it home and she did.
I know, I saw those.
Yeah, this is red fox, and I could feel that. Oh. Now, Kate has really tiny feet, so we could probably put these on, but they may be a little short.
Didn't she photograph this on her husband, though?
I think it was on her. I think he photographed her feet.
Oh, okay.
But we took these to the campus and we photographed them as well.
Oh, neat.
We used Christina's tiny feet to do that.
Yeah.
But
look
these
at how
are just
they flash.
I know.
I love
they're just sumptuous, and these are toe-up socks.
Oh.
So I think it's really nice to have a pattern in our system that is toe-up rather than cuff down all the time. And that means that you could make the cuff of the leg of the sock a little bit taller if you wanted to. And then she's got this really cool ridge stitch for the cuff.
Cynthia, I'm always looking for short socks to wear, inside a runner or something, especially in the summertime.
Yeah, or in the wintertime, just on you got like wooden floors, right? Me too. And so, having a pair of cozy socks to wear in the house.
Yeah, this is the perfect size for that.
Yeah. This much cuff. Yeah, absolutely.
I like that.
And so there's a German short row heel in here, and then the back of the heel. Like Kate
so there's a little bit to learn too. If you haven't done it before, it's a nice.
The German short rows I'm learning for sock heels are it's really good. And what I like is that you've got that sort of Dutch heel look back here, this flat back heel here, which the whole thing with the gusset fits me better than a round heel. So I think, Kate is masterful. I think this is definitely a pattern. If you wanted to do toe-up socks, but you don't want to do the typical round heel or the afterthought heel that comes with those kinds of socks, this is the way to go.
Okay.
I'm very excited about this. So I want to do some.
Yeah,
and she's used Judy's Magic cast on for the toe of the sock.
Oh, okay.
So it looks like it's been Kitchener Stitch closed, but this is where you start. Yeah.
Good to know.
Very cool. So that's a sneak peek because we probably won't be putting this pattern out until November. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Whew. Yeah. It's been busy.
You've been talking a lot.
I have, right? Okay. So Barb, I want you to tell us what's new in the store for yarns.
Oh, okay.
I know we've got
We're
some
moving
new...
forward?
I think so. I think so.
Well,
I've just got to put my passcode in here to...
Before I talk about that, because you're getting your computer all...
Here we go.
Back up.
I'll talk about... we've done all those things.
I just want to mention that Rowan has been working really hard on new pattern development too.
Yes.
And there's so many choices out now for new designs. I took a little mini survey last week and I said, asked our customers what they were making.
Oh.
And they were telling me they're making like hats and sweaters, all kinds of different sweaters, top down, bottom up, Icelandic sweaters, cardigans, lots of cable projects. And then they said hats too. They're really working on hats and mittens. That was kind of what the theme was last week.
Right.
And so, sometimes it's hard to find a pattern that, appeals to you. I know that these folks went through a lot of searching to try and find a pattern that was just what they liked. And so we got these pattern books from Rowan, and Rowan has done a lot of the design work for you. So if you get a chance, come on in and take a look at these. These are small little booklets that are given away for free when you buy the yarn. And so it's such a nice thing because each book has 4 or 5 patterns. I'll just show you one. This one is called City Style Collection. It's from the designers from Quail Studio. And, you know, there's a little poncho in here that's on the cover. There's a really cute sweater on the back page. Well, now I don't know what's inside it, but thanks for that.
But hands off.
Yeah. There's kind of like a coat jacket. This one it's made out of garter stitch. And then there's this one, a raglan sweater. And this looks so cozy and soft. It's probably done out of Alpaca Classic or something. So some of these books are organized around a particular yarn. Some of them are just all different yarns around a particular topic. So there's one for special fine knits. This one features Rowan fine lace and kid silk haze. There's one for big wool. I love big wool when I have just a little bit of time on my hands and I need a project really quick.
That's the 10 millimeter needle yarn. Yeah.
There's this one, 4 projects in mohair. This one's really nice too. It's got a couple tops and I think a hat. Yeah, look at this mohair hat.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is nice too, where they show you all the patterns on one page. We've got kind of a composite photograph. And this looks a lot like the one that we just got off the needles, except it's got sleeves.
Right.
There's one for evening. This one's very dress up, so maybe around Christmas time.
Yeah. Look at that tulle skirt that she's wearing.
Yeah, isn't that something? Very soft and flowy tops. This one's called Bottle Green Collection, and it's different yarns, all in the colorway Bottle Green.
Oh, that's very cool.
Which we're seeing transition over from felted tweed to big wool.
Right.
And it's got, they almost all of them have a cardigan or a scarf and then some small accessories. So it doesn't have to be a big project. It's a great way to try out one of the yarns too if you haven't used them. You can try it out in a small project, and if you love it, then you can go on to a bigger project. This is kind of one of my favorite yarns. This whole book features Valley Tweed. Okay. And I really like Valley Tweed.
What do you like about Valley Tweed?
I knit that Kate Davies hat out of it. The colors are so pretty. I love the stickiness of the wool. And Pat just did another bobble hat out of it. It wears so nice. It fits my
hat, like B-A-A-B-L-E?
B-O-B-B.
Oh, okay.
L-E.
Okay.
Bobble.
Okay.
Yeah, little tiny bobbles and cables on the hat.
Cute.
Yeah, you haven't seen it yet?
No. Okay. But it reminds me that I still have that vest that I'm working on. You know, Jessie McKittrick's Windsor vest. That's done out of Valley Tweed. And I was thinking of taking it with me next week to finish it.
You should take a bunch of projects.
Unfinished projects. Just knit on the plane. Yeah.
So there's just a couple more. This one's felted tweed. Again, classic pieces with a tweed yarn with a little fleck in it. And they have a men's collection too, which is really nice. If you want to knit something for a guy, this might be a nice little book to pick up. And we've got them here. We have copies here in the store that are complimentary. So until they last, right?
I'm guessing these patterns will be available online too.
Well,
maybe I'll look it up
I took a look at one of the hat patterns. I couldn't find it. So I think some of these might be just specifically in local yarn shops. That's what they're designed for, is to put in the local yarn shops along with the yarn. Because, I mean, you can get lots of inspiration too by going to the Rowan website and picking out a regular pattern. It's just that this has already been done for you. Yeah. And then these books, these are just gorgeous. The photography in them is fantastic. Each book has 4 projects, and these are based around the yarn. So this one is for brushed fleece, kind of chunky, soft, cozy sweaters. And Alpaca Classic has its own book. And again, free. These designers have done a lot of work. And when we think of how much work these books are worth,
Well,
they have great value.
This is the company supporting its yarn.
Yes.
Right? Because these printing this stuff and shipping it to us and, making it available for free is a huge expense for the company. So,
So come in and have a flip through these books.
It's one of the things. That's one of the things you got to like about Rowan is how much they support their yarns.
Yes.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
So that's, and then I was going to show you one new yarn.
Just one?
Just one. We've got lots and lots of new yarns, right? But this one we haven't shown yet.
Yeah, this feels amazing, Barb.
So this one they just sent us, and
is this one of each color?
Yeah.
So this is Moordale,
right?
Yep.
And this is a British yarn. This was a special breed. I think this one came from the Falkland Islands.
Right.
And
this is 70% wool, 30% alpaca. It just feels so soft.
British wool and British alpaca.
Right. Yeah.
So something a little different, it's something that I'm anxious to get on the needles.
Yep.
I'm going to do a little swatch. See what it feels like.
Right. There's a photograph on the side that says blue-faced Leicester. So it's a picture of the sheep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's nice. Blue-faced Leicester is a beautiful sheep breed for hand knitting. Yeah. And look at these colors. They're so rich.
There's a nice little book that goes along with it, too.
And these are plump skeins.
Yeah.
They're 100 grams?
Yeah, 100 grams, 230 meters, 251 yards.
So DK weight?
I think so. 23 stitches on a 4.
Okay.
So, maybe 4 or 5 balls.
For a sweater?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this is the book that comes with the yarn. Lots of great ideas. There's cowls in here and hats and sweaters. Yeah, the stitch definition shows up really well in this yarn. It's beautiful.
There's a poncho in there. Yeah.
Isn't that pretty?
Yeah. Now, again, you could see this book. You could see all the designs online.
Yes. In this, These are the regular feature books. Suzanne and I were flipping it, and she wants to do everyone in here.
Yes.
And then the other thing I wanted to mention was some of these colors. Some of these colors are just totally Rowan. They're so unique. You don't see these shades in any other lines. So, you've got some really unique coloring in these yarns.
And there's the bottle green.
This green. Isn't this beautiful?
Very saturated. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
This is the nicest green. Anyways, Moordale.
Yeah.
Check that out.
Really nice. Okay.
That's it, Cynthia. Really,
I think you have one more. We have one more garment, though, right?
Oh, we do.
Yeah. Shall I bring it over?
Sure.
Okay. So we were talking about Rowan Moordale, and we had another garment that we put out this month.
I think we talked about this the last time, but there's this book from Rowan called Mode, and it's all about creating garments that are part of a capsule wardrobe, that go together. And so I was just kind of enthralled with this sleeveless jacket. It's pattern 15, and it's just a sleeveless jacket. But it's done in rib stitch.
Right.
And so we had this knit up, and Cynthia, it's a gorgeous piece.
I know because when the garment came back from our knitter, we like to do the finishing in house.
I started it.
Pat knit up all the parts, and Barb was leaving for vacation, so she sat down and she seamed about an inch of it. Yeah. And then she said, "Oh, I'll take it with me. Or I'll take it home." And then she left, and she left it there. And so when I came in the next day, I said, "Hey, what's this doing here?" "Oh, I see. She left it for me to finish." But I have to tell you, I was glad that you did that because I hadn't actually touched the yarn before. I mean, sometimes there's just so much activity here in the store. There's so much stuff to do. Power goes out. that we don't actually have a chance to play with the yarn.
And that's sad because,
right?
We need to, especially.
It's so soft. So I took this garment home with me and I seamed it up on every Friday night, our family does family night. We get together for dinner. And so after the dishes were cleared away and the table was cleaned off, I took this out and I started seaming while I was chatting with my daughters and and my husband and their partners and everything. And so anyway, it was so luscious and so easy to seam. Pat did a very nice job on the edges. You just, match stitching it together.
Yeah.
It was like sewing like butter.
Yeah. Yeah,
that was really nice.
It's also one of those pieces that is great for layering.
Mm-hmm.
You can wear it again under a coat, over top of a blouse or a sweater.
Yeah.
It'll go with things in your existing wardrobe.
Yeah.
And one of those pieces I think that everybody needs to
right.
have one of.
Right. Plus the alpaca content in it makes it very drapey. Mm-hmm. And so for a long garment like this, it gives it a nice flowing line. It doesn't bunch up on you. It fits nicely. It just falls really nicely. Yeah. So beautiful classic design.
So that's one more piece we have in the store, and we're working on more.
Right. This is also the yarn that Arna and Carlos use for the Christmas balls workshop. And there are, I think, maybe 5 seats left in that class. So
I know. That's the one that I was totally excited about.
I know.
That's the one I want to take.
I know. It's so much fun to create a Christmas ball with Arna and Carlos.
I know.
It was kind of what started them on this journey, I think, was their 55 Christmas balls to knit book. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So gorgeous yarn. If you want to try it out, that's a great place to do it in.
Yeah. So what have you got there?
Okay, so I do have one more finished object, and that's this little bit of embroidery.
You guys.
We're doing an embroidery class in the store. And you know what? I'll tell you, if we didn't do this class, I never would have done this.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So I took this embroidery class with one of our new instructors, and she taught me how to do all the stitches in here. I could have learned this by myself. The instructions are included in the kit. But it's taking a class just speeds up that learning curve. And now I'm inspired to try some more of these kits. If you want to try this, they're on our online store. Sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
That's okay. Keep going.
We found these kits when we went to TNNA. Yeah, we met the designer. She does all the drawings herself. And then she does the instructions and packages them all up. So you have everything really you need in the kit. But taking the class was really good because I'm too impatient to learn, and I don't like going onto YouTube and watching videos. Now that I know how to do these basic stitches, I'm so inspired. Yeah. I'm going to do some embroidery on my clothing.
Yes. Oh yeah, tell everybody about that.
Well, I have this one linen dress that I love to wear, but it has this edge on it that always curls up on me. And so I'm going to embroider along the edge of that on that piece. To tack it down, yeah. And then I might just do some embroidery around the neckline as well, because I now have a hoop and I have thread left over.
Well, the hoop just is used as a hanger as well, right?
Well, in some of these kits where the embroidery goes to the very edge, you actually get 2 hoops. One for doing your embroidery and then the other for display. So that way when you do your embroidery, you don't have to try and embroider on the edge here.
Right.
You get the bigger hoop to do it on. So, I mean, they really are packaged with everything.
And look at how nicely it's finished on the back.
Yeah. So on the back is a little imprint of the company that does it. She cuts out this shape and you just whip stitch it down to the back. But again, our instructor was so good at showing us how to do that and how to do it right the first time, so you don't have any wrinkles around the edge. So I really feel like I learned a lot by taking that class.
Just so you know, this lady who makes these also has video tutorials on her website.
Okay.
And she sells these on Etsy as well, I believe. So
yeah, they're really cute.
She's gone to lots of work to try and help people if they're stuck.
Oh, okay.
Instructions.
Right. Yeah. That's really good. And then earlier I had pulled out my MVP hat that I was working on. I said it was in touchdown. So we were just going to talk a little bit about the touchdown yarn. Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to mention, because I don't want people to get the patterns and then be disappointed if it doesn't work out, right? Because we designed these patterns to complement our touchdown yarn.
Right.
And our touchdown yarn is hand painted. The skeins are super big. They're not like regular skeins. They're 50% more yarn. And as such, they're dyed where half of the skein is one color.
Right.
So this is an important fact to be able to have success in the gridiron series of patterns, because you need that long colorway to get the effect.
Right. So gridiron is the sock pattern that Kate Atherley designed for us, and we've just released a hat and mitten combo to go along with it. And yeah, you won't get the design. The design won't work with other yarns because
unless they are this long and have a half solid. There is a technique called ICAT that some of the dyers do. And so if you're lucky enough to have something like that, it might work.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a special yarn. It's done with Carolyn's Socknado base, which is 80% Italian merino and 20% nylon. It's gorgeous to knit with. Yeah. So bouncy. I love it. And then we also have these new needles that you were just telling me have been extremely popular on our online store.
We've been getting phone calls on these needles. You guys, Addie's come out with a new square rocket. And so this is supposed to be a great needle. I've only tried it for about 10 minutes. Yeah. But I love them. They have, not only are they square, so that ergonomically they're supposed to be really good for your fingers and your hands. They have little notches in them too. And I love that because it kind of holds the yarn onto the needles. And Addie's great, it comes with Addie's great tip and Addie's beautiful flexible blue cord, which is great. So if you want some of these, we're fully stocked on them. Or we should be by the time this airs.
They don't come in every size, though.
No, not right now.
Right? So you can't get them in every millimeter size, and they don't have, they only have 3 lengths, I think, right now.
No, there are more. But they start at 2.5. Okay. And so they're probably not, well, I mean, lots of people knit their socks on 2.5. But who knows? They'll probably come out with more sizes, 2.25 and those sizes later on.
And the lengths you can get right now are?
The lengths that we have right now are 16-inch, 24-inch, 32-inch, and 40.
Okay. Well, that's quite a few lengths.
Well, we pretty much have all the lengths, But if somebody wanted a 60-inch one, we'd be happy to custom order it for them.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, Cynthia, FLASHMOB.
Tell me about FLASHMOB.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Flash. So this month's FLASHMOB celebrates Scorpio.
Okay.
And the star sign. Yeah. I can't remember.
Isn't it a scorpion?
Oh, yeah. Scorpion. Yeah. But there's a special trait that goes along with it, and I can't recall what that was. Okay. Anyways, we asked Kim from Flock Fiber to design Scorpio for us. Yes. And she came up with a gradient set.
I'm seeing this magic here in front of me. Guys, I can't even tell you how gorgeous this is.
This colorway Kim's called Deepest Love. And isn't that true?
It's I
mean, this is the reds of all reds. You've got a really, really bright red all the way to a deep saturated burgundy.
Yes. Look how well it goes with my hair.
I know. You need to do something out of this.
It feels really substantial.
Well, that's because it's superwash merino, cashmere, and nylon. And there's 20% cashmere in here, you guys. Kim's pulled out all the stops. This is truly the deepest love that there is.
Yes.
And each one of these skeins are 50 grams, too. So you got a lot of yarn here. Yeah. There's, I think, 200...
200 grams total.
Yeah, 200 grams total, 695 yards, 635 meters here. So lots of yarn. You could easily do a beautiful shawl with a package of this.
It's so squishy.
I know.
Yeah, yeah.
So look for this for our flash mob. We only have 2 more left. I think Scorpio and Capricorn are Capricorn.
No, there must be one more because we started in January, right? So
yeah. So, okay, we'll have to go back and look at it. That's right. There's two more.
This is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I just love how squishy it is.
I know.
I'm sort of thinking that it would look really nice in a sweater, like with this being like sort of like a design work, the black, or a dark, deep gray base.
Or this could be your trim, maybe you do a sweater with a stripe here and here and here and here. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so these are very limited. We don't have as many as we had in other flash mobs because this took Kim a lot of time. She had to dye 4 separate colorways.
Right.
So if you'd like one of these, look for them to come out on the 20th of October at 6 p.m. on our online store. And if you get our newsletter, we'll send you out a reminder.
Right.
We send that out to everybody and pick one of these up. They're just beautiful.
And if you don't get our newsletter, tell everybody how you can get our newsletter.
Yeah, sign up for our newsletter.
It's on our website. The bottom of every page is called the Yarn Bird.
Yeah.
And just give us your email address and we'll make sure that you're on the list.
And then subscribe to our podcast too, because we talk about these every time that we bring one out. And we'll talk about it. They're so soft.
Can I just... This one's out of its package. Can I just buy this?
Sure. No. Yes, sure.
It has to go to someone who will love it as deeply as I do.
No, I think you just need to get one.
That's so cool.
I know. Kim, you did an amazing job.
October 20th, 6 p.m.
And that's too bad, right? Because when they're gone, they're gone. Like, that's it. They're one of a kind. Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, well.
Well, I think that's probably enough.
Don't you think?
Probably enough new stuff and
I know
enough talking.
We need to go for a drink now.
Okay, right? It's noon on Sunday, so it's time for beer.
Yeah. or breakfast buffet or something. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. So we're wishing everyone a really happy October.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, because this will be coming out a week before Thanksgiving.
Right. Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yes.
American Thanksgiving is probably next month.
Right.
I'm not sure. It's usually in November, though, right? So happy Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yes.
If you need an excuse to eat pumpkin pie and turkey.
And you're American, you can go ahead and celebrate ours, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because we'll be celebrating yours.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't want to eat good food?
All the time.
Yeah. We should actually ask people to comment on something other than whether or not you can wear Fiona's mittens backwards. Let's have people tell us what their favorite fall color is.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your favorite fall color? And if you don't have one, maybe tell us what's your favorite fall food. Because food is good to talk about, right? Maybe I'm hungry.
Yeah, I think so. Get her a muffin.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, pumpkin spice latte.
Oh, yes, Tim Hortons. That's where we need to go.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Have a great month, everybody, and we'll see you in a little bit. We'll probably have some footage from Knit East, where we're heading to. And, take care.
Bye.